Regrets are something that I have a lot of. I learn from everything that I go through. And I think that's one of the greatest signs of maturity. Like, that's one of the greatest signs of maturation, when you come to a place where you can use everything you go through, even the so-called bad things, right? Don't ever let anybody play in your face. If you allow people to play in your face, they're going to do it. And they're going to do it. And they're going to do it. I've said it many, many, many times. There's givers and there's takers in the world, especially if you happen to be in your nature a giver. You're going to naturally attract takers. That's what they're looking for. That's a part of the criteria that they look for in people that they interact with. And keep in mind, not everyone has the same intentions as you. This isn't about bitterness. This isn't about being hurt. This isn't about negativity. It's actually quite the opposite. This is elevation. This is growth. This is progression. This is truth. Don't ever let anybody play in your face. Period. That's one of the biggest mistakes I've made in the past, that if I could go back and change them, I would. It's not that you don't ever want to give anyone grace. It's not that you don't want to give people, some room to grow. And grow from the mistakes that they make the same way that you do. But when you let someone continue to play in your face, it's disrespect. The only true, like, authentic apology is a change in behavior. So if you have someone in your life, someone that you're interacting with, friend, family member, colleague, co-worker, business partner, whatever the case may be, parent, they're consistently like doing the same things over and over, but then they'll apologize just to placate you, just to like squash it temporarily, but they continue to, they're running game. They're running game. And it's okay for you to come to a place where you're done, like, feeling guilty about it. Just embrace it and accept it for what it is. Embracing it doesn't mean that you condone it or that you agree with it. It means that you recognize this for what it is, and it puts you better in a position to take action on it. Don't ever let someone play in your face. All right. And this ain't about just toxic or narcissistic relationships. Not everybody's a narcissist. I'm very well aware of that. I've come in contact with a few, so I know it when I see it, but I don't go around diagnosing people. I'm not a clinical professional. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a doctor. I'm none of that. I'm not a life coach. I'm just someone who's made a lot of mistakes and putting herself better in a position to learn from those mistakes. Don't let people play in your face. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's your kid. Don't let nobody play in your face. And you know exactly what I mean when I say play in your face. Lie to your face, disrespect you, lead you on, tell you one thing, do something else. You know what I mean? Sully your name, present to you less than what you're deserving of, less than what your standard is, present to you less than what your energy warrants. Like, if you don't protect you, who gonna do it? If you don't love you, if you don't see it for you, nobody else is gonna see it. You gotta go hard for you first. You have to protect you first. And that's one of the mistakes that I've made in the past. I was of the impression that, like, if I look out for people, if I do right by people, if I'm a solid, stand tall, not perfect and not flawless person, but if I'm a stand tall individual, I'll get that energy in return because that's what I was putting out. No, that's not what that means. Which is why now I've learned I invest in people based on how they invest in me, not how I feel about them and not how they claim to feel about me. It's a lot of people who felt the way. And then as time goes on, those feelings change. Feelings are fleeting and people are fallible. Like, let's like really be honest about it. People change up, people's minds change, people's hearts change, people's feelings change. And that's natural. That's a part of life to me. But it doesn't ever mean that you're supposed to accept disrespect. So don't do that. Don't do yourself that disservice. It makes it harder for you to live with yourself. It makes it harder for you to be able to forgive yourself. It makes it harder for you to be able to move on when you know that you allowed somebody to play with you when you shouldn't have. Trust me. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm not telling you what I read. I'm telling you what I've lived. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. So first and foremost, show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. Don't wait for other people to show up for you. It's important. It does say a lot about you as a person. And that's one of the ways that we can teach people how to treat us. You're going to suffer. In this life, you're going to suffer. This life ain't about feeling good all the time. It's not all days are going to be good. Like, we're aware of that. And there are some people that are worth suffering for. You just have to figure out who those people are. There are going to be people that hurt you that you care for deeply. You have to figure out who's worth suffering for, and not everybody's worth suffering for. And I think if you are a willing participant and like you're moving through life with an open heart and an open mind and open eyes, then it'll save you a lot of anger. Don't be a runner necessarily. Don't be a fear-based individual, but don't endure more than you should. Don't accept less than you know that you're worthy of. You know, you got to know your worth out here, and people are going to play with you. And sometimes it could cause you to feel shame if you allow someone to play in your face. You're going to feel less than. You're going to feel weak. You're going to feel drained of your energy. Stand up for yourself. Sometimes being a responsible adult means that people are going to be pissed with you. Like, people are going to be pissed at you. People are going to be upset. That's okay. You're not here to like be a people pleaser or to make everyone else happy. Like, you got to do what's right for you. You have to do what's best for you. Live in protection of your peace and give from your overflow. And I ain't just talking about, you know, energy or financial or your time or whatever. I just mean everything, all the above. Give from your overflow. Keep something in reserve for yourself that is only for you, just like a budget. This is the energy like that I have budgeted for me. Like, this is for me and me only. This is what keeps me upright. This is what allows me to present my best self to the world. This energy right here is for me. I don't have any to give you. All right. And there's nothing wrong with having boundaries. That's really what it boils down to. It's just boundaries and self-love and self-care. When you're waiting on someone else to prioritize your self-care, it's self-care. You're already wrong if you're expecting someone else to protect you or you're expecting someone else to build you up. That's on you to do. That's a me problem. That's a you problem. Don't ever allow someone to play in your face. It affects your confidence. It affects how you feel about yourself. It affects your rest. It affects, your performance the next day, like in the subsequent days, like, because you got to spend time like unpacking that and healing about that and decompressing and forgiving yourself about that. Nip that in the bud immediately. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Yes, it's going to be tough sometimes to say no to people that you care about. Yes, you're going to disappoint some people. Yeah, some people are going to be irritated, but in a way, you standing up for yourself will also let you know who's really for you and let you know who really cares about you. And just because someone plays in your face or, plays games or is manipulative doesn't necessarily make them a narcissistic person. It may make them toxic. It may make them unhealthy. It may make them, incompatible, but not everyone's a narcissist. Like, I'm very well aware of that. Like I said, I don't go around projecting that energy onto people, but being in situations like that has definitely heightened my sensitivity a bit. It's definitely impacted like how I interact with other people, how I carry myself, how I hold myself, the standard I hold myself to, because I know that I'm not a saint and I know that I did wrong in those situations too. I didn't always handle everything the best, I've definitely like accepted hoovers. That's a part of the journey. It's a part of the process. But this ain't necessarily just about toxic and narcissistic relationships. This is just healthy interaction overall in general. Let them go find somebody else. Go find someone else to play childish games with. Let them know what the standard is. They're not going to know, what the standard is if you never draw a line. No one will ever know what the standard is if you never draw a line for them. So love yourself that way. Cherish yourself that way. Believe in yourself. Value yourself and know that you're worth it. And also know how to get out of the way when somebody wants to treat you good. And don't question that. Know you're deserving of that. But these are regrets that you never want to have to live with. Don't ever allow someone to play in your face.